As some of you know, I'm an avid cruiser, and I have a soft spot in my heart for the Oasis Class ships of Royal Caribbean. Join me and my special guest today as we do a review of Harmony of the Seas. And as always, folks, if you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you get notified each time we post. My guest today is Diane Shelton, owner of Cruise Holidays with Diane Shelton and Shelton Cruises. Diane specializes in cruises and escorted cruise vacations. A certified group specialist and accessible travel specialist, Diane has been designing custom vacations for her clients in Virginia and across the country since 2007. Hi, Diane. Welcome to RTE Travel Talk.
Hi, Ken. How are you doing?
Great, Diane. It is absolutely great to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Today, Diane, we're talking about the Oasis Class ships of Royal Caribbean. Now, I happen to know that you have recently cruised on the Harmony of the Seas, and I was hoping you could give our viewers and listeners a review of this great ship, the onboard attractions, dining, service entertainment, and of course, the itinerary.
Oh, okay. I'd love that. The Harmony of the Seas is Royal Caribbean's Oasis Class, the third ship to hit the high seas in 2016.
Okay.
And it has over 2,700 staterooms, and it accommodates approximately 5,500 guests. You have Central Park, Boardwalk, a number of water-based attractions, including a large slide, 3 swimming pools, 20 dining restaurants, and the theater sits about 14 or 1,500 seats. The itinerary is normally right now it's a 7-night sailing, sailing Bahamas, Jamaica, and 2 of their private islands, which is the Perfect Day at Coco Cay and Labadee, Haiti.
Okay. So they're really a destination unto themselves, these ships, aren't they, Diane?
Absolutely. They are everything you want and then more.
So what type of stateroom did you have?
I had a balcony, but I plan to upgrade to suites because with all of the amenities that they have to offer, it's worth it to go one step up instead of having a balcony to go at least into a junior suite.
Okay. So did you take a junior suite?
And no, not this time, but I have a sailing coming up that I am in a junior suite.
So for anybody that's going on board, that would be a recommendation.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I would recommend a junior suite over a balcony or higher.
Right.
And Royal Caribbean is doing something really neat where they just before time to sail, if they have extra space, they're letting the guests bid so you can upgrade for a certain amount. And each guest and you can upgrade, say, I can get an email upgrading me from my balcony and I can go to a junior suite or a royal loft or on up. And they put a price on it and you bid. And I guess the highest bid will get upgraded.
Well, that's interesting. Now, so basically, just before sailing, you get an email. If I understand this correctly, you get an email saying we have these suites available. Basically, how much would you like to pay for it, or do they give you, or do they say something like starting at? And
at first, they were just letting you bid, but I think people were bidding too low.
Right.
So they have like a starting amount, and then you just bid. But usually, the amount that they put on there, if you bid on it, it's been my knowledge that you're getting that upgrade.
Wow.
I guess they're sailing in May, and they were already on the junior suite, and they were able to upgrade to a royal suite.
So they went from a junior suite to a royal suite and would have had some savings because of the bidding process. So rather than if they had booked a royal suite straight out, they may have wind up paying more money.
That's exactly right.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's really So tell me, what was the entertainment on board like?
Well, if you've never been to a Broadway show, once you left the shows on the ship, you would feel like you've been to a Broadway show because they're absolutely spectacular. I've never, in 15 years, I've never seen a bad show on Royal Caribbean.
I totally agree on the Broadway shows. For those of us in the parts of the country where we don't get to see that quality of entertainment, it's wonderful to have it all in one place.
Absolutely.
What was your favorite venue on the ship in terms of activities?
Well, I love the ship, but if I had to pick one favorite, I think it would be the Central Park. Central Park is so soothing and relaxing and elegant and top-notch restaurants and shops. It's just to die for.
You need to tell me.
Uh-huh.
It's been a while since I've been on board. Do they still have that wonderful little bar in the middle of Central Park where there's like soft music playing and it's almost like that famous show Cheers. The bartender always knows your name, and you
Oh, it
walk up and
always
you
knows
can
your
just
name.
sit there and enjoy the ambiance.
Isn't it amazing how they have all those people on the ship, and those people, you walk up, not only do they know your name, they know your drink,
Yeah.
they know exactly what you want, and it's just they're so personable.
I know it makes for a wonderful, wonderful experience, and I don't know how they do it either, because sometimes there's I don't know about you, but there's days when I can't remember my own name,
I'm
let,
telling you, numbers
let
I'm good
alone
at, names
let
I'm
alone somebody else.
exactly.
Now, another big attraction of these ships that we found when we were aboard is the dining. Tell us a little bit about the dining and all the options that are available.
It's 20 venues on there, and it's something for everyone, no matter what your desire is at that time. You have the main dining room where it's always superb. Your waiter, after the first night, they know your drink, they know your name, they know your guests with you, everything about you. If you're looking for steak or Italian, Mexican, pizza, burger, whatever you want, it's there for you.
You could just about anything and everything.
Anything, and it's just too long. It take us up the whole interview to go through everything it has to offer.
I hear you. I hear you on that.
Yeah,
Suffice it to say, now although some of these restaurants on board, as I recall, probably about half of them are included with your fare, but
yes,
there's quite a number of what's known as specialty restaurants where there's a
especially
cover charge.
that is
And
true. Some of the steakhouses, Johnny Rocket may have a nominal fee. The Mexican restaurant, it just depends. I mean,
right,
most of the restaurants that are considered specialty do have a small fee, but
right,
it's not anything like going to a regular restaurant and getting the same
yeah,
wonderful meal,
but worth it
but worth
if
it.
you worth it for a
Absolutely.
great dining experience. Yeah,
We had done the Mexican restaurant, and for some reason, my husband, whatever he got, I guess they assumed he didn't like it, and he was okay with it. He just wasn't hungry.
right.
And manager hunted every time we walked down the Broadway. He was there saying, "Come, we're going to give you this special meal," and even to the end. And we had to go and have this meal before we went to dinner. So by the time we went to dinner, we were stuffed because we had to go because he didn't let us. He didn't let us. He wanted to satisfy us. He wanted to make sure we were satisfied. So
But and again, that's the thing about cruise ships and cruising. It's about making you feel each individual on board, all of the guests feel special.
absolutely. Makes you feel so special
Yeah.
that when you get back home, it's like, oh man, I got to do this myself. I got to cook my own
Yeah.
meal.
Yeah. No, I certainly understand that. It's hard to pull the pots and pans back
I'm
out of the
telling
cupboard to get back to doing your own cooking
you, it
after you're
is.
weighted on hand and foot. Diane, you mentioned that on this itinerary you made two stops
Uh-huh.
to Royal Caribbean's private islands, Labadee and Perfect Day.
Hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about both islands?
Oh boy, they were both great. The perfect day, it's everything the amusement parks have, but you have the beach and it's free. And people were so excited, and it was so many things to do. And they had these cottages or private villas that you can rent for the day, cabanas, I think that's what they call them. And I tell you what, Ken, it was just it was wonderful just being able to watch everybody after being locked up for 2 years, and people were just, it was a perfect day, and the weather was perfect, and people were on the beach, they were dancing, they the food was amazing, all of the food is free, and it's just great. And Labadee, the weather was so nice and warm, and you could just sit and look at the water, or you could zip line, and people were doing all kind of fun things. And I highly recommend it. I'm not going to do all that zip lining and stuff like that, but it's fun to watch.
You're talking to the guy that ziplined on board Allure of the Seas, because do they still have the onboard zip line on the ship?
Absolutely. They do have it. My husband thought about doing it, but he chickened out.
What do you say to folks, Diane, that might still be a little bit skittish about taking a cruise?
Well, with all of the safety protocols that the cruise line have, only thing I can say is, you just need to do it, because I felt safer on the ship than I do going to the grocery store, because you know that everybody's vaccinated, and you know that everybody had to do a negative test when they got on the ship. And the cruise line is their safety protocols are top notch.
Well, I couldn't agree more with what you just said. Having interviewed some of the insiders in the industry and looked at the protocols and stuff, the cruise lines have done just an absolute fabulous job at looking after the health and well-being of their guests. So it's just wonderful.
I agree.
Diane, let's talk about, she's a resort style ship, 5,500 to, I think, at absolute maximum capacity with everybody jammed in, perhaps 7,000. Who is these ships? Who are they best suited for, do you think, in your opinion?
Well, I've always considered Royal Caribbean a preferred vendor because of the fact that they do have something for everyone.
Right.
They're so family friendly, and it's amazing how they can keep the kids. I mean, you don't see them running all over the ship. They keep them so entertained till by the time it's the last night and they have the kids doing a performance, you're like, where did all these kids come from? Because they entertain them, and it's just amazing. But it was fun my husband likes to sit on the deck and smoke his cigar and have his drink of choice. And it was just fun for him to see the kids in the pool, or people just enjoying life after being locked up for 2 years. It was good.
And that's the thing about family-oriented cruise lines, where you can actually, it's a safe environment for the kids. They're entertained.
Yep.
And it allows mom and dad to get some quality mom and dad time as well.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Diane, do you have any advice for our viewers and listeners that may be looking to book one of these Oasis Class ships?
Yeah, just do it. Just do it, because, depending on what they're looking for, I try to make sure that I match my clients with the best cruise for them. Right. So, I take into consideration what they're looking for, what they want to do, and then we go from there and we build the cruise that's best suited for them.
Perfect. So Harmony of the Seas is doing primarily Caribbean itineraries. Did I hear that right? Okay.
Yes.
What's the best time of year to visit the Caribbean, Diane, or is there a best time?
No, all year is considered the best time. I mean, I've been there all times of the month. Like last month, I was there in February, and I was thinking, well, the weather might be, but the weather was perfect. It was beautiful. Now, I know in the summertime it's going to be warmer, and I find that the best time for me is September and October. And if I have a client that doesn't have a high budget, I try to steer them to September or October, because that's typically the less expensive time of the year to travel.
Right. Now, knowing the industry and the cruise critics out there, people are going to come to you and say, well, that's hurricane season. What do you say to people that are concerned about sailing in the Caribbean during hurricane season?
First thing they want to say is, well, that's hurricane season. And I said, well, technically hurricane season starts in June. So, you have to pick your favor. The time of year you want to go, it could be a hurricane anytime.
That's true. And the other thing is, that's the beauty of a cruise ship. They're at sea. They can steer around a hurricane.
And we've had to do that. The cruise line and the ship, they were ready for anything to happen, and they got us back in safely a day early.
Well, there you
and
go.
If you have travel insurance, you don't have to worry because you call your agent and they can get your new flights or a hotel, a post hotel. That's where it's great to have travel insurance.
Right. So that would be, in my estimation, two of your high recommendations: travel insurance and the use of a travel advisor to guide you.
Both, without a doubt.
So we mentioned at the start of the introduction that you specialize in groups, escorted cruises, distinctive voyages, and that sort of thing. Do you have anything coming up that you might like to highlight?
I do. I have a number of group sailings this year.
Okay.
I have one sailing in July out of Barcelona, Spain, in and out of Barcelona, and it's going to hit a number of Italy ports, and I think one in Greece. I also have a distinctive voyage sailing this August, sailing out of Fort Lauderdale, and it includes a shore excursion for all the guests and a cocktail party for all the guests. So I highly recommend doing that one.
Right. And who is the distinctive voyage with?
It would be on Celebrity Cruises.
Okay. All right.
This one will be on Celebrity.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I will leave links in the description for that information.
Okay.
And that sounds like something that I'd be interested to hear all about when you return. Are you up for that?
I certainly am.
All right. Well, that sounds like a plan. If folks wanted to get in touch with you, Diane, to book an Oasis Class ship or another group cruise or distinctive voyage, what's the best way to do that?
Well, they can email me at dshelton@cruiseholidays.com. They can go to my website, which is dshelton.cruiseholidays.com, or they can call me at 804-754-6643, day or night.
Perfect. With that, Diane, I am looking forward to hearing all about that distinctive voyage when you come back from that.
Okay.
For now, I'm just going to wish you smooth sailing. May the wind always be at your back, and I hope to see you on the Lido deck real soon.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ken. Thank you for having me. And I do look forward to coming back soon.
Take care, Diane.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And that about wraps things up for today, folks. A very special thanks to my guest, Diane Shelton of Cruise Holidays with Diane Shelton. If you'd like to reach Diane, I'll leave her contact information in the description. If you would like to reach us, simply send a question to questions@realtravelexperts.com, visit our website, realtravelexperts.com, or leave a comment. We always respond. And as always, folks, if you enjoy this content, a like, subscribe, and ring of the bell is always appreciated, and it helps us to spread the word. So until next time, happy travels.